On this episode of Sign Dawgs, we are doing a neon sign for Foxtrot. Everybody loves neon. It's got that nostalgic look and it just has that pop that LEDs do not have.
Every day we look at signs. Some are beautiful, others not so much. For a business, any business, a good sign is crucial. So where does a good sign come from? Who creates these tantalizing works of art? In the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, it's done right here by the people at Signs Manufacturing, the people we call the Sign Dawgs.
Foxtrot has a logo. It's a fox. We're going to route out the logo, put it on top of the building. We're going to put the neon all on their canopy, put the neon lettering that says Foxtrot, and then back it up with some painted letters on the canopy. It's really going to draw attention.
Foxtrot is a gourmet convenience store, kind of a beer and wine and fancy snacks. They're based out of Chicago. They opened up another store in Dallas, I think, and I think they were real friendly towards the people who weren't going to restaurants anymore. It's kind of a grab and go, or I think they do a big delivery business, but they came to us with a specific style of sign, and that basically is exposed neon, which is kind of a throwback to the olden days.
Given the area that they're in order to kind of fit in with the area, it looks more like a club. Lots of neon, cool Art Deco type logos and stuff like that, and a pretty neat little projecting sign that sticks out. When building a projecting sign, there's things that you need to consider that don't normally factor in on normal signs. When you have a projecting sign, you have a wall, and then the sign sticks out off the wall 3, 4, 5 feet, something like that, which means your weight is heavily cantilevered. So what that will tend to do if you don't mount the sign properly is it will bend the bottom of the sign and rip your supports out of the top, and then the sign falls and there's lawsuits and dead people, and that's just bad. We don't want to have that happen. So you have to design the sign with that in mind. Thankfully, in this case, the sign's not really, really large, but even so, what we're doing is we're going to have a heavy back plate on the sign that we can then mount into the wall, use all the way through the wall, and actually have a backer bar on the back of the wall so that the entire wall would have to fall down before the sign does. Because quite frankly, if that happens, it's an insurance problem. They're not coming after me.
They wanted a real old-fashioned looking sign on actually the building that they're in, turn of the century. Right around 1900s it was built. So it all came together with a good look, and they came to us because we're one of the few companies that does neon still.
Everybody loves neon. It is handmade. If you see our neon experts actually forming those tubes, I mean, it's a work of art. You contrast that to what most signs are nowadays, where people take little LEDs and stick them in the backs of letters and things. It just doesn't quite have the same effect. And if you look at neon straight on, I mean, you can light up anything with neon and make it perfect. With LEDs, you got all these little points of light. So neon just has a lot of versatility that you don't get with your little LEDs.
They already have an existing awning that sticks out. It's about this tall and kind of curves on the front, and they want to put neon on it. Well, that's not terribly difficult. We just got to go out and get a radius of the awning, make the neon to fit. Not terribly difficult. But the thing that we really have to be concerned about here is water. You've got this awning, which is basically flat, which means that water is going to tend to pool on the top and then drain out through its scupper holes. And into that water, we have to put our electrical components. And because this is neon operates at very, very high voltage, which means it will short at the drop of a hat, and lightning will go shooting out at whatever it shorted to. So we don't want that to happen. And that means that we need to very carefully plan an insulated electrical system for this sign. The electrical boxes that we use are water porous. Even though they're designed for outdoor use and that, you get enough water, it will get into those boxes. So we're going to put those boxes back inside the building, and then we're going to run the power out to the neon in solid, complete, rubberized, coated conduit. That way the whole thing can literally sit in the water, and as long as the water never gets deep enough to go up in the ends, it'll never drain into the electrical and cause electrical shorts. And since the awning isn't that deep, that will never happen.
I was really impressed with their selection and their pricing. It just seemed that you can get a real good grab-and-go lunch or dinner, or make an hors d'oeuvres type of snack that was upscale. Again, not expensive, but also conducive to people who really don't want to sit down and have waiter service. You know, nowadays they want to just grab and go. There is a patio too, which is nice.
Doing the sign at Foxtrot. They got a cool little fox head logo thing that we put up on the wall above this awning off the front of the building. So they wanted to just incorporate the sign into the awning, which was all right. They wanted to go old school neon, because neon does have its applications where it really looks cool. So Raymond utilized the pattern that my guys took off the awning. So anyway, my guys went out to the awning there and patterned it. When they installed the neon down both sides and around the front, they hand lettered the word Foxtrot on there. We used vinyl to back up all the straight pieces, but they wanted the retro look on the word itself. And we had a blade sign we built out there that went on the edge of the building, where they took some old awnings down off the front of the building there. So anyway, it really looked amazing there. Fixed up an old front of a building there and gave it some retroactive loving care, and I think they'll do good with it.
When you see the view of the front on an angle that takes in the main sign with the horizontal tubes of neon going back, and the projecting blade sign, which is also in neon, it really sets the mood. Very inviting. It comes together, I think, exactly the way they were hoping it would. And I knew it was going to turn out to be a beautiful project.